Good morning, or afternoon. I don't even know what time it is. It's afternoon. It's actually Christmas Eve. That is probably not when this video will go on. I'm going to do a video that I do not feel qualified to do. Someone asked me to do a video of like how to begin using a planner. I don't feel qualified to do that video, but I'm just going to say, as if I were starting to use a planner again, the things that, now that I've been using one for a while, the things that I would definitely want to have in a planner. Okay, so very messy desk. Not desk, this is actually my kitchen table, but anyways, it's very messy. I got to do some planner stuff this morning, then I ran to town with my husband, and now that I'm back, excuse me, I'm going to try to do some more. So I've got me some tea, and I've got my planners. Okay, so using my planner, for me, the most used parts of my planner are the weekly spreads. That's most of where everything gets written down, like any appointments and stuff. And most of the time people use the monthly spread for that. I prefer to use my monthly spread for like personal tracking, but for a long time I used it for appointments, due dates, bill due dates. I would even, when I was in Franklin Covey, ring bound, I had, I think, the classic. I would divide this up by weeks, and like this would be my master task list for this week, you know, and so on. Now I just kind of do that on my weekly spread. So I have been using a planner since regularly. I've always kept some kind of diary, but not really calendar. I've been using a planner since 2013 when I met my husband and we got engaged. And I have been through so many different planners. I don't know the secret to finding the planner that works for you. Also, 2 of my kids are in the house, so if you hear background noise, that's what it is. I don't know the secret to finding the planner that works for you, other than a lot of trial and error. And for me, that was very expensive because I went through 2 different spiral bound planners, and then I went through 2 years, I think, of using several different, no, it was 3 years. It was like the end of 2015 through 2018, I believe. I used ring bound Franklin Covey. Franklin Covey is like one of the more expensive versions of that I've found of ring bound planners. There's so many different ways you can do ring bound planners. I went from there to disc bound, Happy Planner. I spent entirely too much money trying to set up a Happy Planner that did not work for me. And then I went to a small company called In the Leafy Treetops. I liked her setup, but I would get the unbound planners, I would punch them for discs, and it was a lot of work. And I don't know, that system, I used it on and off for like 2 years. She ended up actually getting disc bound, offering disc bound, and discs of her own and all of that, so that was really cool. She's still in business. She has some ongoing shipping issues that really turned me off of that whole system, but she also offered TNs, but only one size of TNs, and I can't remember the size. I think they were like 5.5 by 7, I believe. I can't remember the name of that paper, but anyway, yeah, it was because I used it in my classic, I think. Now, don't quote me. Anyway, I'm just telling you my like timeline of planners. In 2021, I believe, I found the Hobonichi Weeks, and I loved it. It has taken me a full, I think I started in 2021 and it's the end of 2024 now, so full 3 years to find my groove. And I don't think I would have really found it if Sterling Ink hadn't come out with hers. For me, I need, and you can see I like fluffed it up with so many additional notes pages, but I need notes pages and I need undated. But I don't really know how to tell someone who is like starting out in the planner world how to figure out what works for you in a budget friendly way, because I've spent like entirely too much money trying to figure out my system. And I guess if I had been more mindful, I could have paid attention to what was working for me, like in the Franklin Covey. Also, well, I get ahead of myself. I don't write notes for these videos, by the way. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. Yeah. So you could do that, like write down a list of things that you definitely have. In fact, I kind of did that, and I showed it on some of my videos. They're like all mixed up, but I don't know where I'm posting these, what days, but I know I showed this where I sat down for my 2025 system and I wrote down everything that I use my planner for, and I divided that into categories of sections in this and my notebooks. So you could do that. Like, you could figure out what you need, sit down and write a list of what you need in a planner system, like what you need to track and what's absolutely necessary, like appointments, or, you know, if you're tracking your health or something, or the health of a loved one, if you're a caregiver or a parent or a homeschool mom, you know, what you need to track, like your work schedule, paydays, you know, due dates, bill due dates, all that stuff. If you want to keep that in your planner, like I'd use my planner for everything. I use it for appointments, menu planning, school tracking. I have a completely different school record keeping planner, but I use it for budgeting, bill paying, bank book, like tracking what's actually in my bank account. It's in here somewhere. I have a, oh duh, I put a tab on it. It's messy, and I get behind a lot lately, but I used to be really good at this. Like, I have the date, I have some kind of you know, I don't know the word, like note to myself of what the money was, and then the amount, and then the total. Used to, I was really good with, I would have several. I would have the date, the transaction, the actual amount of the transaction, then the amount that I deducted. So I would round up everything. Like if we had 15, you know, 75, I would round up to $16 and put 25 cents over into the savings account. And then I kept a separate tracker of what was in the savings account. Life happened and I got away from all of that, but I really need to get back to that. Anyways, all that to say that I keep my bank books and everything in my planner. It's my brain. Period tracking, Bible reading, social media, let's see, passwords. I have a whole TBR section, book section that I showed on a separate video. I'm just willy-nilly going through this, picking up housework, you know, to-dos, tithes, Christmas sections, holiday sections, so like Easter, birthdays, Thanksgiving, Halloween, all of that gets a separate section. I keep wanting to drink tea and then I set it down because I need to do something. Let me see if I can go back. I don't know if I put it in here. Yes, I did. Okay, so like Halloween has this whole spread of what we did, pictures. I love putting pictures in my planner. Again, this is a planner / journal for me, so that's why I need so many notes pages. I like keeping, as of I think late November, I started putting my daily pages, which is a whole other aspect of my planning, in my Sterling Ink planner instead of in my A6 notebook. And I'm really enjoying that a lot more than, okay, so I had an interruption. I think I was saying just all the random stuff that I keep in my planner. Oh yeah, I was saying that I moved my daily pages here, and I think what I'm going to do, which this is not practical for me unless I add pages to my planner, which I totally don't mind doing. I love the bulk. Some people don't like it, but for me, I love a fluffy planner. So even if I did this again next year, I would still get the full year common planner, which has 368 notes pages in the back, and I would just get a few of those little Hobonichi Weeks notebooks, or either I might just buy an extra sterling ink notebook. I don't know. I don't want to have to cut the pages down too much, but anyways, that's like forward thinking. Anyways, I'm going to add pages to my planner is my point. So I want daily pages in here, and then also like monthly like recaps, or like the holiday sections, and like I was talking about. Let me think. So you could do that. You could like write a list of things that you need to use in your planner for, and just know, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, life changes and you change as a person. So if a system you set up and spent a lot of time setting up isn't working for you, don't beat yourself up about it. Like, I had a hard time changing systems because, number one, I would spend so much money on these things that I would feel bad if it wasn't working for me. And then, or either I would spend so much time getting it set up that I wouldn't allow myself to change things and, you know, try to use it any different way. Which then just led to me not using my planner at all and completely wasting it. So, yeah, try to, like, it's going to be a learning curve if you're just starting out with planners to figure out what works for you. Also, don't just go with what's the most popular at the time. Like, I know, you know, Hobonichi planners, sterling ink planners, these, you know, Tomoe River paper planners are pretty popular right now. But I know there are people who it's not going to work for. Okay. I had another interruption now. I can't remember what I was saying. I do that a lot. I was saying, oh, it might not work for you. You might not like a bound book planner, you know. I love them because I have a whole year, like, in this book, if I stick with it. And I am determined to stick with it this year. And that is after I figured out my system that works for me. And then I look at other systems and I compare it against this one. And I'm like, how is that going to be any better than what I have? How would that serve me better than this? And if the answer is it wouldn't, or I don't really know, then just stick with this. That's how I do it now, or that's how I'm doing it this year. I'm not one to talk because before I archived all my videos, you could have seen how many times I changed planners. Like, it was ridiculous. Even like I would go from a Hobonichi Weeks to a sterling ink to I think she's now Soft Paper Studios OG Weekly Diary. Yeah, I would just change it up so much. It was horrible. But anyways, so if I were to start brand new from scratch, trying to figure out a planner system, I would definitely have a monthly calendar and probably a weekly calendar. And for me, I like the horizontal. Some people like vertical planners. There's also, like, if you get into like Happy Planner, they have so many different kinds. Dashboard, I can't remember all the different kinds. I use Dashboard. I enjoyed that setup. But it was kind of like this, except for it was boxes on this side and then notes on this side. So I've always kind of leaned towards the boxes and the notes. That's just been kind of how I do things. I love the horizontal boxes. It works with my brain, and then I have a whole page of notes for the whole week. I used to think I have to have 2 pages per day. I started off Franklin Covey using their 2 pages per day planner, and that's what I thought I needed. But the more that was one of those things where I wouldn't let myself see that I wasn't using the pages, and I was stressing myself out because I was not using the pages. Like, I wasn't filling them up. So if you see, I like to try to fill my pages up. Even if I don't, I have days like here, we were sick, so there isn't a lot there. But I did go back and put some pictures to kind of have a memory of what happened that day, even if we were sick. And on days I'm not sick, I love filling my pages up. Like, I write to-do lists. If I don't write to-do lists, I'll write, you know, at least what we ate for dinner, menus, you know, that kind of thing. If we went shopping, where we went shopping, what we bought, how much money we spent, what we paid for it with. Just all kinds of information goes in my planner. But I don't need 2 pages per day for that. And if I do, then I just stick, you can see, I just stick a little paper in or tip in something. Like, these are memories. I'm trying to find one where I actually tipped in right here. This was a divider, more or less, but I can put notes like that. I can't find where I actually did that. And then I get over here where it's not dailies. Okay, so again, I don't think I'm qualified to make this video. First of all, because I swapped planners up until what, late August of this year? No, late September of this year. I have swapped planners so much that I really don't have room to talk about, like, you know, finding your perfect system, because it's like so new for me having found my system. But like, I wouldn't really have done anything different other than maybe I wouldn't have gone all in on the Happy Planner, because I knew the whole time I was doing it, it wasn't practical. But other than that, I'm glad that I tried so many different planners, because I know, you know, I have planners from previous years. I keep everything that I can. Okay, so I have planners that if I get to be like, you know, maybe I would like that again, or maybe I would like that. Like, in the Leafy Treetops, blah, they released this year, you know, and I always keep track of all these planners that I used to use and what they're doing this year and that kind of thing. And I was so tempted to get one of her planners, even though I had this one. I think it was like in September or October. I think it was October. So I was like a month into using this. I hadn't yet moved my dailies over here, so I was still putting dailies in here. And I did my end of the year cleaning. So every year at the end of the year, I declutter and I clean. And it's like I have to do that to get ready for the new year. I don't know. It's just something that I've done for years. And I got those planners out in the Leafy Treetops, and I was like, yeah, I like it. It's pretty. The paper's pretty, but nope, it's not practical for me anymore. My life is different. I'm a different person. It's just not what I want anymore. So that has been the only real, like, tug I've had to a different planner since I started using this one. And a lot of it is nostalgia. You know, like, I'll remember. Okay. So let me think. What was I saying? Yeah, so I have those planners. I can go back and be like, you know, seeing. I wish I hadn't spent so much money on planners, but now I know what I like. I don't know. It's just, it was a learning curve for me. I know it doesn't have to be that way for everybody. Like, you can look at I can look at stuff now, and I know that wouldn't work for me, but part of that is because I've tried about everything there is out there. So anyway, I don't know if this would help somebody starting out with planners or not, but that's my experience. And like, the things that I've always known I needed in a planner from the time I started it with planners was a monthly spread for appointments and all that stuff, and a weekly spread. Everything else is just extra, like the stickers, you know, the daily pages, the journaling, all of that. also that would be something you would kind of want to think about. Like, do you want to include journaling in your planning system, or would you rather have a separate journal? I know a lot of people do that, but I don't know. I just like the memories in with the planning. And I don't really show my planner to anybody, so it's not really a matter of people seeing my personal stuff. Well, I mean, other than on YouTube. Like, I'm sitting here flipping through my planner, and I'm... Anyway, other than on YouTube. And if it's like super personal journaling, you know, I'll just put a sticky note over it. I've done that before. Yeah, so I guess that's all I really have to say, because it's just a trial and error thing. Sometimes I use only black ink and highlighters. Sometimes I use only black ink and no highlighters. Most of the time I color code, whether that is with highlighters or with colored ink. For me, I'm a visual person, so I need to be able to see the different colors. Like, I know on this page, all the yellow is my kids' stuff, whether that is school, or if they spent the night with their nanny and papa or anything like that. Anything in green is my husband, whether that's his work or projects he's working on here at the house. Anything in pink has to do with me, stuff I did. You know, and I can just look like blue. Light blue is my eldest son. Dark blue is what I used to call social, but it's more like family, friends type thing. My social media stuff would be in pink because it's mine. It would be my stuff. Yeah. I use stickers. I love these little emoji stickers and just little stickers like that. Those are my favorite types of stickers. I have so many Happy Planner stickers I need to use up that I've been trying to incorporate them. I also love, excuse me, LA Florals decorative stickers. That's what these watercolor, what's it called? They're hand painted, handmade stickers. This is hers. LA Florals. So I use a lot of her stickers for decoration. I used to use more washi tape. Now I normally just use washi to like tape something in, because with the Hobonichi Weeks they always had a section down here for a quote, and I'm not a big quotes person because they would never quote out of, you know, spicy fiction. So I would just cover it with washi, and now I don't use that because the whole spread in a sterling ink planner is nothing but writing space. So see, it's just all the way. You get some space at the top, but unless you're using narrow washi, and you got this tiny little space down here, and I like that. So I don't use half as much washi as I used to. My kids have mostly gone through my washi and used it up. But anyways, so that I really don't have anything else to like say about starting out with planners. This is what I do. This is my story of my planner journey and how I got to where I am. Yeah, so I hope that helps. And if you made it this far, thanks very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.